guys, welcome back. Welcome to the yet another session of virtual learning. All right. So today I have my little friend Arohi. Arohi, say hi to everyone.
Hi.
All right. So we've been learning about plants, right? So far we have learnt of roots and then the stem. Today we're going to consider about leaves, and we're going to start here in this garden, and we're going to explore many types of leaves around us. So all right. In the grade 4 we have already learnt about leaves, right? We have seen about photosynthesis already. Yeah. So what is photosynthesis? It's the process of making food by using carbon dioxide present into the air. Yes, water which is being absorbed by the roots, and of course the sunlight. All we say the greenery over here. Why? Because the leaves of the plants, they are green in color. And what makes them green? Yes, it's the pigment called as chlorophyll present inside the leaves, which gives them the green color. All right. Since these leaves, they prepare food for the plant, they are called as food factory. They are called as food factory. We all know that there are many branches to a stem, and to those branches we have leaves. All right, so I'll ask my camera person to come closer so that I can show you some of the leaves. Okay, now this is the hibiscus plant. Okay, I'm just considering one branch of it. All right, now you see here, this is one leaf. Okay, so it has started coming out from this node, the part of a stem from which the leaf arises or grows. It is called as a node. It is called as a node, N-O-D-E, node. Okay, now as we can see here, there is certain gap between these nodes. This is the one node, this is the other node. There is certain gap between these nodes. Okay, considering here also there is certain gap. So this gap is called as internode. Okay, this gap between the two nodes, it will be called as internode, whereas the part of a stem from which the leaf arises, it is called as a node. Okay, yeah. So that's about node and internode. Okay, now we're gonna see parts of a leaf. We'll first consider this plant itself. Okay, so please come closer. Yeah, so we're gonna see this hibiscus leaf. So yes, as now we have seen, this is the node from which the leaf arises. Okay, this part, this stalk like structure, okay, which joins the leaf to the node, the stalk like structure which joins the leaf to the node, it is called as petiole. All right. Okay, now as we can see, this entire green color, it forms the leaf blade. And this leaf blade is also known as lamina. Okay, all right. Now see here, this petiole arising from the node, it elongates itself or stretches itself till the tip of the leaf. This part will be called as the tip of the leaf. Okay, so this petiole is running from the center of a leaf till the tip of the leaf. Okay, so this central part forms, this central petiole which is running, this forms the midrib. Also known as the central vein. It is also known as the central vein. Okay, I'll take this is the new one. Okay, now if we consider this particular one, okay, which is quite properly grown up. Okay, so this forms the midrib, the central part, it forms the midrib. Still there are certain veins. Okay, these veins, they form the intricate network. Intricate means the complex network. They form the complex network of veins. Okay, these are called as side veins. Okay, so far what we have learned, this entire green portion of the leaf, it is called as lamina or leaf blade. The stalk like structure which holds the leaf to the stem through the node, this part is called as petiole. Then there is this central vein. Okay, this is the central vein. Then we have the midribs. Now, in our body also we have veins. In our body also we have veins. What is the use of those veins? What is the use of those veins? Those veins, yes, they are helping in transportation of substances. They are helping in transportation of substances. Likewise, the veins present in a leaf, they also help in transportation of substances. Now, what are those substances? Yes, for photosynthesis, a plant requires water, nutrients, etc. Alright, so that will be provided by those veins. And once the food is prepared, that food prepared must be provided to other parts of the plant, right? So that food prepared will be then transported through these veins to different parts of the plant. So that is the foremost very important function of a veins, to transport the substances like water, nutrients and the food prepared. Am I clear? I hope you have understood this thing. Alright. So as we can see, there are different types of plants. Okay, I'll just show you the difference between these types of plants. Alright, so please come closer. Yeah, just see here this veins and the veins in this plant. They are not much visible. Okay, you come here and see the veins of this plant, this leaf I mean. Okay, veins of this leaf and veins of this leaf particularly. They are all different, right? They are all different. So this arrangement of veins, these are nothing but these lines inside, they are nothing but the veins. They are nothing but the veins. So this arrangement of veins inside a leaf, it is called as venation. It is called as venation. So there are two types of venations. Okay, there are two types of venations. The one which we have seen here in the hibiscus, it's the reticulate one. It's the reticulate one. Okay, reticulate means which is something forming very big or intricate network. Intricate means complex. It's a new word for us, right? Intricate means complex. So that forms the intricate network. Okay, a network of veins which we can see in that particular plant. Whereas when we consider of this particular plant, the veins, they are parallel to each other. They are parallel to each other, and this type of venation is called as parallel venation. Okay, so I told you about two types of venations. Depending upon the arrangement of veins into particular leaf, there can be two types of venations. What are they? Yeah, the first one is going to be, of course, reticulate one, and the other one is going to be the parallel venation. So what are the examples? The examples of reticulate venations are going to be mango, hibiscus, just now what we have seen, mango, hibiscus, neem, shisham, peepal, banyan, etc. Even that carrot, alright, brinjal, these all kind of plants, they show the reticulate venation. And when we consider some grass-like, some grass-like plants, they show parallel venation. They show parallel venation. All right. So, what are those grass-like plants? They are garlic, of course, onion, grass itself, banana, even though it's not a grass, banana, of course, then sugarcane, maize. These are the plants that show the parallel venation. So in this garden particularly, I have banana leaves to show you. All right, so they all are far apart, I think, but okay, still, if you can see here, I'm not going to hurt this particular leaf. All right. So now you can see here the venations. This is the midrib, the central vein running through the central part of a leaf blade. Now there are certain veins. See their pattern. All right, they are parallel to each other. These veins, they are parallel to each other, and this forms the parallel venation. All right. Now, since I told you all the plants which are having grass-like structure, they have parallel venation, and the examples which I gave you, onion, then garlic, maize, sugarcane, etc. Right? These, they have what kind of root system? They have fibrous root system. Yes. So the grass-like plants, they have fibrous root system. When I spoke to you about reticulate venation, I gave you the examples like mango, people, sesame, etc. Right? Even that carrot, beetroot, turnip, radish, etc. They have, what kind of root system do they have? They have, yes, they have taproot system. They have taproot system. So, the plants which show reticulate venation, they have taproot system, whereas the plants which have fibrous root system, the plants with the fibrous root system, they have parallel venation. So, it's not every time that you have to dig open and see the type of root. Even looking at the plant's leaves, you can guess the type of a root system a plant may have. Alright, so this particular plant, which again shows the parallel venation, I exactly don't know what plant it is, but yeah, this shows the parallel venation, and so far that's why this plant has got what type of root system? Yes, it has got fibrous root system, and that's the very known to you banyan tree, right? This is the banyan tree. So this again shows the intricate network of veins. It's the reticulate venation shown by the plant, and that is why it has got taproot. It has got taproot. So whenever you are looking at the leaf of a plant, you can understand the type of root system it has got. All right. Alright, so now when we are learning of leaves, we have just now covered parts of a leaf and the venation that we see in the leaves. Now what we're gonna see is function, the work done by leaves for the plant, or what is the importance of leaves for the plants. So far in standard 4, 5 and 6 now we've been learning of, yes, plants are very important, and that is why they are called as food factory, as they prepare food for the plant, right? Yes. So there is one green pigment present into the leaves, the green pigment present into the leaves called chlorophyll. Okay, what it does, it absorbs the sunlight, and yeah, on the underside, this is the upper side, and then on the underside of the leaves, here there is presence of small tiny openings. The millions of tiny openings are present on the underside of the leaves, and they are called as stomata. So this stomata, they take in the carbon dioxide from the air. The roots, they are going to provide with the water. So yes, these three things, when a plant gets sunlight absorbed by the chlorophyll, carbon dioxide taken in by the stomata, water provided by the roots, a plant can start preparing its own food. So yes, the very important function of a plant is to prepare food for the whole plant, and that's the reason it is called as a food factory. Now once the food is being prepared, the food prepared is called as glucose. Alright. It also prepares oxygen, which it again gives out through the stomata and the water vapors. Okay. Now, since the continuous process of preparing food is going on in the daytime, the extra food prepared by a plant is stored in different parts of the plant. Like roots, stem, leaves, fruits, flowers. These are the different parts of a plant that store the extra food. And what do we call to that extra food? We call to it as the starch. Yes. All right. So that's the important first function of a plant, of leaves, to prepare the food. What else? Yes. On the underside of the leaf, there are tiny openings, millions of tiny openings, which help the plant for exchange of gases. Exchange of gases means, yes, taking in carbon dioxide in the process of photosynthesis and then giving out water vapors and oxygen after the food is prepared. So that's again the important part. The veins present on the leaf, they help in transportation of substances, though that is again important part of a plant leaf itself. to transport substances like water, nutrients, and once the food is prepared, it is again transported to different parts of the plant through those veins present on a leaf. So that is again one important part. All right, so that is one again important concept called as transpiration. So for that I need to perform one small activity, and for that I need to have sunlight, which right now I don't have because I'm quite late for shooting this video right now. So what is transportation and what are the things related to transportation, that I'll teach you, or I'll see you with that in the next video. All right, I hope till then you'll see this video one more time and you'll enjoy watching this, all right, as I enjoy teaching this. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here today, and you guys please take care of yourself. Bye bye.